Hello students, welcome to history class. Today let us first know about the origin of Harappan civilization. There are various theories regarding the origin of Harappan civilization. These can be classified into two groups. The first one is theory of foreign origin and the second one is theory of indigenous origin. Now let us see the first theory, that is theory of foreign origin. Some scholars believe that people of Harappan civilization belong to some other urban civilization who settled along the banks of river Indus. Scholars also feel that Harappan civilization was a part of Mesopotamian civilization, but this theory has been rejected because of many differences between the Harappan and Mesopotamian civilization like town planning, architecture style, etc. The theory of indigenous origin. Historians believe that Harappans were the original inhabitants of India only and did not come from another place. They believe that the urban Harappan civilization actually grew from the rural village cultures and not of any foreign origin. Extent of the civilization. The excavations of Mohenjo-daro and Harappa and other sites reveal that an urban civilization existed in India around 5,000 years ago. The Harappan civilization was spread over 1.3 million square kilometers. The entire area of this civilization is triangular in shape. The civilization extended from Sutka Gender in Balochistan in the west to Alamgirpur in the east, which is in Uttar Pradesh. In the north, it extended up to Banda, that is in Jammu and Kashmir, and in the south, it extended up to Bhagatra, which is in Gujarat. The remains of these civilization have been found at Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Channu-daro, which are in Pakistan. Other places are Ropar, which is in Punjab, Banawali, which is in Haryana, Alamgirpur, which is in UP. Then you have Kalibangan, which is in Rajasthan, Lothal, Rangpur and Dholavira, which are in Gujarat. So far, about 1500 cities, towns and villages of this civilization have been found. The most striking feature of the Harappan civilization is its town planning. Each city was divided into two parts, the raised area called the citadel and the lower town. The citadel was surrounded by a wall, possibly to protect it against floods or enemy attack. The important buildings like the Great Bath, granaries, assembly hall and workshops were located here. The rulers and the ruling class, consisting of rich merchants and the priest, lived here. The lower town had houses of the common people. The Indus Valley people built their cities with proper planning and according to a set pattern. The cities were built on a grid pattern. As you can see here in this picture, the entire city was divided into rectangular or square blocks, and each block was divided by a number of lanes. Streets and roads were straight and wide, running from north to south and east to west direction, cutting each other at right angles. The corner of the streets were rounded to allow the heavy carts to turn easily. Fire-burned bricks were used for paving the streets. Houses were built on both the sides of the street, but they were not allowed to encroach on the streets. There were street lights in every street. Now, let us study the features of the houses of Harappan civilization. All the houses were built on a raised platform to protect them from floods. Houses varied in size. They were single or double storied, and the roofs of the houses were flat. As you can see here in this picture, that some of the houses are single storied while the others are double storied houses. Houses were built of burnt bricks, wood, lime and gypsum, and stone was not used at all. All the houses were almost similar in design, having rooms built around an open courtyard. Every house had a well, kitchen, bathroom, storehouse and a good drainage system. Smaller houses had 2 to 3 rooms, while larger ones had many rooms. The doors and windows of the houses opened on the street side and not on the main road. House drains emptied waste water into the street drains, which led to the main drain, and the main drains emptied this waste water in the outskirts of the city. At regular intervals, there were manholes for cleaning. This shows that the Harappan people were highly concerned about cleanliness and hygiene. Now, let us study the next topic, monumental architecture. The Harappan people were good artists. Monuments like the Great Bath and the Granary tells about the progress they made in the field of art and architecture. This is the picture of Great Bath, and I have already told you about its features in my last video. Great Bath is an important source of information that tells about the life of the people of Harappan civilization and their culture. Construction of Great Bath shows a high degree of perfection in the art of building. The huge structure points to the existence of rulers and high-class people like priests who employed laborers to build such huge structures. Great Bath was used for religious bathing. This shows the importance of sacred bathing at that period of time. The design of the Great Bath also shows the efficiency in planning of structures with features like drainage system and water supply. Granaries have been found at Mohenjo-daro, Kalibangan, Lothal and Harappa. Granaries were huge buildings used for storing grains like wheat and barley. At Harappa, there are 2 rows of 6 granaries which are called as the Great Granary. The granary was built on a raised platform in order to protect it from floods. Circular brick platforms were discovered to the south of the granary at Harappa, and probably these were used for threshing grains. Near the granary, 2 rooms, barracks or quarters have been found, which were probably the house of the laborers. Granaries were built close to the river so that grains could be transported easily by boats. The next topic is trade. The Harappans had a highly developed trade system. They carried inland and overseas trade. Trade was carried on by sea route as well as land routes. The important trading towns were Surkotada, Lothal, and Balakot. The Harappans had trade relations not only with different parts of India but also with Mesopotamia, Egypt, China, and Afghanistan. Here on the map, you can see the purple color area which shows the Harappan civilization area. Then you see the orange color area which is Mesopotamia, and the green color is the Egypt. So you see that from Harappan civilization, trade was carried out by sea route to Mesopotamia and then by land route from Harappan civilization to Mesopotamia and then to Egypt. Now there are proofs that Harappans had trade relations with Mesopotamia because a large number of Mesopotamian seals have been found in Harappan cities. Similarly, a large number of Harappan seals have been found in Mesopotamia. So this shows that Harappans had trade relations with Mesopotamia. Some items of trade were terracotta pots, beads, gold, silver, seashells, pearls, precious stones, and cotton. Barter system was the most popular method of trade, and metal money was not used. Weights and measures. Cubical weights in different sizes have been found. The basic unit of stone weight was 16. The larger weights were multiples of 16 like 32, 48, 64 and so on. Smaller weights were all fractions of 16. Some of the weights are very small, which were used to weigh precious objects. The Harappan people also knew the art of measurement. The next topic is transport. The main form of transportation were bullock carts, boats and ships. Bullock carts were used for inland trade. Now the evidences which tells us about the mode of transport used by the Harappan people. So we have many terracotta models of bullock carts have been found at Harappa. Models of terracotta ship was discovered at Lothal. Many seals with pictures of ships engraved on them have been found. Copper or bronze model of carts with seated drivers have also been found at Harappa, and you also have terracotta models of boats which are also being found.